These are
to come and take your seats ahead, requesting everyone in the lobby to also please come in and take your seats. You can carry your coffee and tea along with you inside the hall. But since we're already running tad bit late, so requesting everyone to please come in and take your seats. Thank you. India, the Hyderabad edition. We'll be starting off.
cities, places where individuals come together and build communities. These are places to connect, stay, and love. Places to care for the generations that came before us while welcoming the next. Places to let our children grow and learn. To experience amazing moments. To step into new adventures. We are home where our communities come together. Places across town or across the world. Places.
Once again, requesting everyone in the lobby to please come in and take your seats. We'll be starting off with the conference anytime now. Requesting everyone in the lobby to please come in and take your seats, and also requesting everyone in the back to please come in and take your seats. Given we'll be starting the conference, it would be really nice if we could maintain the silence in the back and we could have the networking and the stall visits after the panel discussions are over. So my earnest request to please come in and take your seats. All right. So once again, a very warm welcome to each and every one of you here. Firstly, our apologies for the venue. We did not realize how inward this particular hotel was and away from our corporate hub. And my heartfelt thanks to each of y'all. I'm assuming most of us are from the high-tech side of the city. And to have traveled down here is my speakers themselves are complaining. So I can only imagine what my delegates must have gone through. But thank you so much for making it here. And I can see an hall full. And I really hope the insights and the thoughts and the experience that our speakers here are going to share with us really helps you all in your own experiences and your operations. With this, I know you all must have heard a lot about what Smart Office Summit is. You all must have got a lot of emails and calls from my office. To just give you a quick gist of what Smart Office is. So basically, at this summit on this platform, what we plan to do is we try to get all the stakeholders involved in a building's life cycle. So that is starting from your developers, your architects, your project managers, your consultants, your heads, your what do you say, designers, and finally the facility managers who are managing the building to its life cycle through until it's like, end as such. These are the major stakeholders we believe are handling a workspace. And given the workspace economy, the office sector is raving in India. This is a platform that I am genuinely extremely thankful for being a part of. And to have my speakers and our partners support this is a very big gesture for us. So, with this, I'm not gonna take much time. I'm gonna quickly introduce and welcome the Group Publishing Director for ITP Media, Indrajit Sauji, to please come on stage and deliver the opening address for this particular evening. Indrajit, a huge round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for Indrajit.
Namaskaram, Hyderabad. Ladies and gentlemen, very good evening and welcome to the 20th Smart Office India Summit in Hyderabad today. It's truly an honor to be here in front of you, surrounded by such innovative minds as we embark on a journey to reshape the future of how we work. Hyderabad, with its rapid transformation into a global tech hub, serves as a perfect backdrop for this important conversation. Before we dive into today's discussion, I would like to sincerely thank each one of you. As Rashmi mentioned, like we didn't realize this hotel is in the heart of the city, and you have to brave the traffic on a Friday evening to be here. So a heartfelt thank you to each one of you for being here today and on time. A huge round of applause for each one of you. Your commitment to embrace innovation in workplace success to the event like this. And if it's your participation that drives the change we all seek to achieve. Let me take a moment to introduce ITP Media, the driving force behind several groundbreaking events like this. Our goal is to foster collaboration, spark inspiration, and push the boundaries to ensure that we reach out to our readers, we reach out to various segments of various B2B verticals in India. Can I have the ITP AV, please? So this was a small glimpse of what we do throughout the year. And the last slide you saw was of commercial design awards. So the nominations are open for commercial design awards now. Rashmi will give you more details during the evening. So you can log on to commercial design website, commercialdesignindia.com, and you can nominate yourself for the awards. The awards are scheduled on 21st of November in Bangalore. So do participate. Now let's talk about the critical reality. While smart office technologies offers immense benefit, a large number of workplace still operates in a traditional way. It's surprising that even with a rapid advancement in technology, over 70% of office still function in outdated setups. Smart office solutions are more like fitness routines. They are universally recognized as valuable, but when it comes to transition, you often face delays. But today we stand at a cusp of change. The Smart Office Summit is not just an event, it's a movement, a collective effort to revolutionize spaces across India. Beginning right here in Hyderabad, Hyderabad, with its flourishing IT and business ecosystem, is an ideal location for this dialogue. The city has become a beacon of progress where innovation thrives, and smart office technologies are quickly becoming integral to its growth. In this room, we are privileged to have some of the brightest minds in the industry and the experts who will explore how smart office solutions can transform the way we work. Their insights will inspire us to rethink and reimagine the future of workspaces. I would like to thank our moderators, Surbi Kunj ma'am and our Babu Korthu, who's on his way. They have worked tirelessly to ensure we have a thought-provoking and enriching exchange of ideas tonight. Can we have a round of applause for these women? A special thanks to our esteemed panelists for agreeing to be with us today and contributing to this vital discussion. They have really prepared hard. They're still reading the notes. See. A round of applause for them, please. Of course, none of this would have been possible without the support of our generous sponsors. Your dedication to innovation and smarter workspaces make this summit a reality. Through your products and solutions, you are helping us shape more efficient office spaces. A heartfelt thank you to our associate partner, Dorma Kaba. They are here. The team led by Somna Chaudhary is here to connect with you. They are showcasing security and access solutions, how office building can be made more accessible at the same time secure. Wipro lighting and seating will demonstrate how light design can impact wellness and at the same time productivity. And the comfortable sitting solutions can be experienced at the booth just behind you. Bunidam, the team led by Ashish Kumar is here to tell us how best we can secure our entrances and yet keeping the aesthetics in mind. Our category partners, Autic Partitions, will showcase how you may best utilize your spaces using their partitions to ensure aesthetic functionality and privacy at the same time. Co-working space partner Buzzworks, as the name says, you must go and try how buzzing the facility is. And copy machines and 75F are exhibit partners. They have their booths behind. You can always find time to visit them. So without further ado, let me get started. Let's engage in an insightful discussion, exchange of bold ideas, and together ignite the smart office revolution in Hyderabad. Sit back, relax, and enjoy your evening. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Indrajit. Like Indrajit said, evenings or initiatives like this is nearly impossible without the support of our industry partners. And one such is, like he mentioned, our associate partner, Dorma Kaba. And I would love to call on stage Mr. Ramesh B, who is the manager, sales and territory business lead at Dorma Kaba, to come on stage and deliver a short note about their portfolio of products and what Dorma Kaba has to offer to the industry here. Please, Mr. Ramesh.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. So my name is Ramesh. I'm representing Dorma Kaba. I'm heading Telangana branch. Today we discuss about our product portfolio. So, yeah. Thank you. This is the pointer. Yeah, thanks. So this is our this thing, global essence and local presence. So actually, we are there in India from last 25 years, and we are serving all the major customers in Hyderabad and across India. So like we are the global leaders in smart solutions and sustainable solutions. We are having an industry experience of more than 160 years. And we are present in across 130 countries. We have employees of more than 16,000. So we have a live patents of around 1,800 patents which are there with us. So like any company do, like we are majorly focusing on innovation and R&D. So invest almost $100 million on research and development. So as per net sales of 2022 and 2023, like we're invested, we are doing around 2.85 billion in CHF. So this is the market India presence, like our headquarters is in Chennai. We also operate Nepal, Bhutan, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka. And as I said, like our marketing headquarters is in Chennai. Sorry, I just missed to mention, like our headquarters is a LEED silver rating. We applied for a gold rating also. So like for the hardware testing, like Dormakaba is the only company in India, like we are certified by NABL. So this is the Market India team of experts. So firstly, like we have architectural specification. So our architectural specification managers, they closely work with the architects and end clients to understand their requirements. Based on the requirements, they'll work out a solution and they'll design the solutions accordingly. So they'll drop the specification and they'll give it to clients as per their requirements. The next one is the business development team. Our business development team continuously in touch with all the key accounts, and they'll ensure that like what are the problems they're facing in the existing building and what are the solutions we need to offer for the next buildings. This is how the business development team will work. And the marketing communication, like we have a traditional marketing. So like every day, like they keep on updating the brochures and sending it to all the key customers. And as we have a digital platform, like whatever the new products we introduce, so we'll publish it on a social media. So next one is the product management. So we have a team of product managers and technical managers. So they work very closely with architects, clients as well the specification team. So they understand like what exactly the requirement is there, and they try to give the solution with the existing products. So if something has been required, so we'll innovate and give the solution as per your requirement and functionality. So project management, we have a special task force, like these team actually works with the key projects from the initial stage. They'll be there from the initial stage to completion stage. So they give the proper solution as per the functionality. So we have a service team, like after sales, like the service team come into the pictures. So what are the problems they are facing? Like our service team is a backup so that they will give the solution and the service properly. Now actually industry is changing to touch free access solutions, so that we have a solutions like which are touchless access. So if you see the premises, like we have all the solutions from mobile integration and biometric authentication, so that any building if you enter like without any touching, so they can directly go into the premises. So now it comes to the barrier systems. So for any building, the entrance premises, we need to have some barrier systems and turnstiles. We have a robust waterproof solutions. So where our products are waterproof, and we'll be giving the solution to the entrance premises. So now when it comes to the touchless entry, like we have a touch-free access to enter into any building. Like if you see any major building or the commercial mall or the shopping mall, at the entrance, all the sliding systems are from Dormakaba. So this is again a entry system, like these are very aesthetically appealing products. So we have a revolving door, depends upon the requirement. For our office areas, like we have a smaller revolving door, what we shown in the top there. And for the bigger applications like shopping malls and convention centers, we have a bigger revolving door. So these revolving doors comes with a sensor technology so that it will give a free and secure access to the people inside the building. So we have a personal interlock system which has been there where security is very concerned and safety is very concerned. Their personal interlock system will be used, especially like defense, air force, these particular personal interlock will be used. So now again, coming about the sensor barriers and speed gates. This will be seen in anywhere like where you're entering into the building. So if you recently saw in majority of the airports, Dormakaba products are installed. If you use the Dizzy Yatra, so all the access control system is by Dormakaba. So these sensor barriers comes with a face recognition. So that all your details once you feed there, so there is no formality for a security check-in. So once you go there, the face reader will recognize and it will give the access to you. So we have a revolutionary product called as Argus V60. So this comes within 10 inches size. Like I'll just playing a video here. Sorry.
The Argus V60 offers the smallest footprint of any optical turnstile in the market today. Argus V60 offers a footprint less than 10 inches, providing the ability to fit into the tightest of spaces, integrating into your access control system and ensuring tailgate detection. Available in a variety of color options, V60 offers the same architectural design elements as the rest of our Argus line. The ergonomically positioned scan plate and status lights have been installed on the front of the turnstiles for better visibility and ease of use. Current optical turnstiles in the market detect passage using horizontal and/or vertical sensors that capture an array of roughly 15 to 30 points. This can create blind spots within the sensor array that lead to false alarm triggers or unrecognized tailgating attempts. Argus V60 offers a more effective solution. Using vertically positioned sensors, the V60 generates a more complete sensor capture, while Dormakaba's SenseLive analyzes the shapes of the array to differentiate between multiple people or objects within the lane. Pairing the more detailed sensor information captured by the V60 with SenseLive is what allows the V60 to effectively differentiate between a true tailgating attempt, a person carrying a large bag, or two people walking closely together.
So now coming to the integrated access, like we have a different kind of integrated access solutions across the building, wherever you go. So I'll just go through one by one. So the first one is the master key system. Second one is the door closure and architectural hardware, electronic hardware, card readers and peripherals, electromagnetic locks and electronic strikes, and access controls. These are the few card readers and peripherals which we there. So we have a different software for a different application. Based upon your application and the functionality, we design and give the solution for you. So these are the few door closer and architectural hardwares. The first one is the surface mounted. So in this one, we have a two technology. One is rack and pinion, and second one is the cam action. Second one is the concealed door closer, where actually the door closer will conceal inside the frame and the shutter. So we have a floor springs also with us. These are the few of the hardwares. Like if you see any building, like we have all the solutions for the building. So master key system, this is one of the key priority in our organizations. For any building, like we have a master key. So in the master key system, like you have a floor wise, like for one floor, marketing department, finance department, each floor, like we have a master key. And for the entire building, we have one grand master key. We call it as a master key system. One campus, one key. So
Dormakaba presents One Campus, One Key. Tomorrow's technology today with Dormakaba's master key system, designed to make access easier and more secure at the same time. The benefits of One Campus, One Key.
So this is again a barrier-free solutions for specially able people. So without any touching, so now they can go and come back. So we are having a sliding system as well as a swing door system in this particular. So coming to the demountable partition, we have a product called as Altera. So in this Altera glass partition, like it will be aesthetically appealing. Whatever the colors you want, we can provide. We have a different profiles and the different acoustic parameters. As per your requirement, we give the solution to you. So this is one of the major product for us. Like we call it as Dorma Upe. This is specifically for the sliding folding partitions. Suppose if you have a bigger hall, so if you want to divide it into multiple halls, like a convention center, they want to make it 2 or 3 rooms, we have a solution. So firstly, I'll discuss with the horizontal movable wall. So in horizontal movable wall, we have a 3 system. First one is a manual. The second one is semi-automatic, and third one is fully automatic. So I'll just play in the manual. Just generally, they will need to move the panels manually. Whereas in semi-automatic, so I'll play fully automatic video first. So with a touch of a button, all the panels, it will automatically go and rest to the designated place. Once it has been placed, acoustic seals are engaged at the top and bottom so that it will be acoustically proof, so that the sound will not transmit from one side to other side. So all the panels will interlock each other. We have a special locking system over there. In this system, there is no need to do anything. Just one click of a button, so entire partition will be done. Second one is a semi-automatic. So in this one, actually, we need to move the manual panels to the designated place. Once all the panels is moved with a turn key, So if you turn the key, all the acoustic seals are engaged on top and bottom, so that the partition will be completed over there. So we are the market leaders in this. Actually, we are present in almost all the IT companies and major convention centers. Recently, we are doing ITEX Convention Center. The IT is around 16 meters. So this is one of the biggest project for us. So which we are doing it. So in this one, we can give you from 45 dB to up to 58 dB based upon your acoustic requirement, the sound transmission coefficient. So we'll give the solution over there. So in this one, actually for the surface, either we can have a fabric, either we can have a magnetic writing surface. This is the horizontal movable ball which I talk. Now I'll talk a revolutionary product. It is called as a skyfold. So it will fold vertically and it will rest in the ceiling, so that nothing will be there at the space. So everything will be concealed. The right side is one is the glass one, and this is the opaque one. Depends upon your requirement. With one touch, like automatically the you don't even know that there is a partition over there. With a click of a button, you can do it. In this particular system also, we can give you up to dB of 58. So we are the market leader in sustainability. We'll contributing with all the major green building councils. So we are the partners over there. And out of 17 sustainability goals, we are part of 9 SDGs, that is Sustainable Development Goals. Thanks, everyone. If any questions, please welcome. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ramesh. To move on to the first session of the day, we have the panel discussion, which is titled Addressing the Needs and Demands of Designing the Next Gen Workplaces. We have an amazing moderator with us today, Surbi, who hones the design head's cap while working at the IPC JLL. And she is moderating this particular session. So I'm going to quickly introduce and call on my panel members. And just before we, introduce and call each one of them here, want to just let you all know that the chairs that are being put up here is actually by Wipro Seating Solutions. It's called the It's Me chairs, which they've got specially for us speakers, shipped it all the way from Pune. But apparently they've given a small note to let you all know what it is. You want to take it home? I can ask them. They're right there. They want to take it home with it. So the chair apparently combines a sleek design and exceptional comfort through its ultra-wide headrest and 40 armrests. You all might get to experience this. All of y'all can also experience it. So I'm going to quickly call on stage our speakers for this evening who will be joining Surbi here on stage. We have Maloncho Rai Chaudhary, who is the Vice President for GRE Property Management Lead at Hyderabad for American multinational bank. And joining her is also Payal Poddar, who is the principal architect at Western Global. Joining them from the developers end is Gautam Gadela, who is the head for commercial development at My Home Constructions. And finally joining them is Siddharth Verma, who is the general manager for Buzzworks, which is the flexible workspace what do you say, is flexible workspaces vertical for the Brigade Group. The brand offers customizable, managed, and flexible office spaces tailored to suit with various business requirements. And given that we are talking about next gen workspaces, these are the kind of co-working spaces that kind of promise efficiency and productivity all together in this their own space. So I'm going to quickly hand it over to Surbi. You would be sitting there with with the speakers, and I'm going to hand it down. I hope the chairs are comfortable. I think they've been adjusted to an higher modem.
Hello.
Yeah, all right.
Thank you,
Okay,
Rashmi.
so I'm going to quickly hand it over. Huge round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for the moderator and the speaker.
Yeah, good evening, everyone, and it's a pleasure joining all of you. I head the design solutions team for JLL, and it's been quite a journey here. It's 24 years going in work, and I just relocated last year from overseas. I've been back and forth working globally, so it's a pleasure on the topic today, which is next gen. And I think before I start to take the audience with our speakers, wonderful speakers today, want to also kind of pause and look at what this topic really means. And I was just thinking, how do we, it's a lot has been talked about, but if we just make it in a very simple manner, I was thinking of the workplace my father used to go. He was a professor, and he had a large office room and in a government office. And then he used to talk about like, okay, when your kids, we grow up, we'll go into the corporate culture and all of that stuff. And we have gone through the whole journey of open workplace, offices diluting, agile workplace coming in, and so on and so forth. And so then, the next generation, I just wanted to put a perspective there that we are, from a generalist to moving to a specialist kind of workspaces, if I want to, and why it's needed. And when we see the today's generation, I don't know, I'm sure in your circle of friends, I've come across like 3 or 4 young kids making it to international Olympics or gymnast, and all of this requires more specialized efforts. And so creating next gen, what's the idea here, I think is important. Why we are really shooting for a next gen workplace is because we are moving from a generalist to a specialist kind of setup in our economy, in our workplaces. So that's one thing. And it's been around a decade of working in terms of workplace strategic views, so I have a lot of things to talk about along with my lovely audience on where these frameworks are, how we are seeing it from whether it's a people experience driven technology. So we have Payal from the workplace technology sector today, and we have developers. So we'll go ahead and introduce the audience. So maybe take a few minutes there and get to the audience. Yeah, welcome here.
Hi, good evening, everyone. I'm Gautam Gedala. I work with My Home Constructions. I lead the commercial business portfolio and look at new initiatives. Very interesting topic, and I look forward to contribute. Although I'm not a Zen Alpha, but still I'll try contribute for what the topic is all about. Thank you.
Hi, good evening, everyone, and a warm welcome to all of you here from MyTV Multimedia. And my name is Malunja. I work for a bank, and it's been about 22 years in this industry. Started doing designing, moved into property management, and I dwell between both in my current role. And it's, of course, next gen is it. It is in terms from your workforce in most of our organizations. And as property leaders or as designers or as developers, I think we have to cater to them in terms of what they need from a workplace. And we'll talk more when we get into the finer details. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Siddharth. I work for a brand called Buzzworks. Buzzworks is the managed and flexible workspace arm for Brigade Group. which is again a real estate developer in southern India. We've just entered Hyderabad with our Buzzworks project as well. And in terms of next gen workspaces, considering we represent a brand that's into managed workspaces, flexible workspaces, and the whole spiel about how people want modern day workspaces, I think all the aspects that we're going to speak about today in the evening kind of relate to what we do as a brand, because we focus a lot on well-being, design, and the whole collaboration aspect for employees. So yes, excited to be here.
Hi, good evening, everybody. This is Payal Poddar. I am the head architect for Western Global. We are into workplace design, and we are expertise in designing the workspaces for each generation. And like we are talking here about the next gen, we are also strategizing for how the next generation offices would be. And yes, Western Global is what I represent here.
Thank you, Payal. Well, thank you all of you for the lovely introductions. And I think today we look forward to having a very engaging discussions on various topics on, starting from what really this next gen workplace is. It's talked about a lot. And we'll try and get perspectives from, from the corporate side, the developers and the architects. So Payal and I are, I think, balancing that act from the seats we are here at. So we'll kind of have a tug of war there, hopefully. And also I would like to have the audience open up as well if there are any inputs in terms of what quickly, if anyone wants to raise their hands on what they feel about next gen, get up for a minute, if anybody wants to just quickly chime in. Okay. Nobody there? Everybody wants to be very quiet on a Friday. Okay, I just want to make sure you're not, it's not getting boring. So we will start with this topic more to, kind of understand what these workplaces mean on a corporate side. What is it really, meaning in terms of next gen, and what they see, and that's a specific question to Molancho. What are you seeing in this workplace in terms of next gen? And is there any changes that you see in research for the bank specifically or the corporate sector?
See, currently workforce for next gen or alpha or millennial comes in is more than a workspace, more than just the furniture, more than just the aesthetics about it. It is about how comfortable you are in that place. Do you feel being there? Do you want to come back to that place regularly? It could be a flexible mode of working, which could be a 5-day working, it could be a 3-day working. But when you are at work, how productive you are because of the workplace design it is. So are you able to collaborate with your employees? Is the design tuned to the way you want to? Can you retrofit it immediately if you want to get into a space where you just want to have a very focused kind of a work? Do you have space to get in such an environment? Do you have a place where you want to collaborate with maybe 8-10 employees? Or do you want a large town hall kind of a setup? So how flexible your workplace is I think basically that's what most employees look at.
So I would just kind of take it to you on another level of question there, like when you actually get into the design for your offices, and what changes are you seeing? Do you see a difference in terms of who those stakeholders are today versus 5 years ago? Because I think there is a big shift that's happened, particularly if you can talk about your banking sector itself. Like, do you involve a lot more teams locally, globally, as well as when are the designers involved at that stage? If you can just tease out that.
Yeah, absolutely. Whenever we get into a stage where we're thinking of creating a workspace or an office, the first set of thought comes is, what is it that the employee wants? So there is a survey which is rolled out. We want to hear from them, what is it that they expect? And as a bank, and with a global presence, the mindset is not that you cut corners. That's a very important thing, which, of course, being in a bank which is able to kind of get you a space which is state of the art. And I'm very proud to say that the kind of technology we have brought in, the kind of workspace which we brought in is what an employee would be looking forward to, and that's what drives them to come back to work. So it's basically designing it according to their need. So that's very one important factor as an employee. Second set is getting the HR's perspective also,
Right.
because they are the ones who are constantly in touch with the employees. We would get a survey kind of a feedback, but they are in constant conversation. So they give
That's a
give us
large
the kind
shift
of a-
I think we
yeah.
are seeing. And I mean, globally, when I was working in the Bay Area as well, in the corporate side, the HR teams, we've seen more involved just because of the agility and how the workforce is being hired. And that's why I was asking you particularly, like, are you seeing a shift in the stakeholders that are involved? We also see a lot of engagement from the shared service, whether it's an IT group
Yeah.
or a security. They're all more on the table when there is a project planning exercise. And coming from a projects and design world in JLL,
Yeah,
we do engage a lot more on this front. But coming back to the people requirements, what do you think is, in terms of a quantum, and I think everybody, while, the questions, it's a wild guess, right? And I don't think it's a cookie cutter answer for an organization, like how much square feet are you using per person. That's not what I was heading to, but more from like, where do you see the quantum of your CRE shifting, globally, as well as if it's different in India? Because I feel, the workforce being heavy in India, it's a bit different than how the global trends are really looking at. So I'd like your opinion there. Yeah.
So in my current role, I don't see any difference, Surabhi, if I may put it across, because of the global presence and the kind of investment which we do from a design point of view. So any of our workspaces here in India to Europe or to the Americas, it is absolutely similar in terms not only from the look and feel, from the aesthetics, the material which
All
has
the
been used, the
standards.
specs, it is absolutely standardized.
Right.
So that's what I was saying, that I'm lucky to be part of this industry where you're not cutting corners. Most
Right.
organizations, and I've also been part of that, where they think that if they're doing a design space in India, we can optimize cost.
Well, I don't know if all organizations have that luxury, because we work with a lot of clients, and as you said, cost cutting
Yeah.
is, sometimes India is seen as a cost center, which I think is shifting over a period of time. There's so much of workforce, especially in Hyderabad. If you're looking at any organization you touch, it's like thousands of people sitting there. So coming to that, the ideal office space program, and I think, Payal, I would like your opinion there. What thoughts you have on the ideal office space and program?
I think the role of office in the coming future is going to change very drastically from what we are experiencing as of now. I think in future, the offices are going to be a hub of innovation and social interaction. Of course, workplace, and workforce, all these three intersections are very complex. And with time, we also see these three, intersections evolving with time. Now, the organizations also have to be evolving with time to grasp what the next generation is also wanting from the workplace. Of course, the generation would want a hybrid work culture. They would also want, inclusivity. The next gen is actually calling it DEI, which is diversity, equity, and inclusion. All these three factors is what I see, what the next generation would see. But of course, while the workplace designers are designing for the next generation, it also has to be, they also have to be very careful about, because it just can't be a hybrid work culture. It just can't be the agile workspace. They also have to design for individuals, because at the end, it is going to be a focus space for somebody who's going to deliver work. So apart from having collaborative spaces, apart from having the hybrid culture, they also have to design quite a few focus spaces that promote the culture of the organization as well.
I would like to add into this topic, actually, because it's a very close topic to our fields of workplace strategy and design. What we're seeing is that personas of people matter. So I think more and more organizations are getting passionate about supporting not only in a generalist manner, but also looking at the diversity, like you mentioned, and diversity is not just women in workplace. It's, a lot of other components, the ADA and, compliance. We're seeing a lot of that happen. And moving forward, I think that will be a given, right? Like a right to an employee. But also, in terms of personas, like you see the introverted personalities in the workplace versus extroverts. And so, how do you make them more productive when certain people have different needs, or, neurodiversity is a perfect example. So do you see, neurodiversity in any, more being used in any organizations that you have worked, or anybody else wants to chime in, in this question here?
I just want to chime in with respect to next generation workplaces. I was just looking at a stat yesterday, which was released by BCG, Boston Consulting Group. What found me very interesting is out of the 1.4 billion we are, I think the Gen Zs are almost 377 million. Surprisingly, this is more than the entire population of US. US is 344 million. Our Gen Z population itself is 377. So the amount of opportunity we have as a country, this is a very young, aspirational, a generation, which not just for office space, but even for residential, just to take a view. So these are the guys who are going to drive it. At the same time, millennials contribute almost 356 million. So approximately more than 70% is between millennials and Gen Z. So the opportunity for India for the next decade is immense. Said that, adding on to what other panelists said, we firmly as a developer believe that what's very important is the experience. There has to be some sense of purpose for somebody to come to office in this hybrid world. So more and more as we meet a lot of clients and we take feedback, what's coming out common for us is that while clients would build amazing spaces, it is also becoming imperative for the developers to also to pitch in and provide similar spaces or more spaces. So there is a bit of push from all clients saying that because clients want to optimize space. If it is 100,000, they don't mind doing 80,000 and move the 20,000 to the developer. So for us also, it's become very important that these social spaces become extremely important, because the sense of purpose for them to come is not just the workspace, correct? Not just the floor they work in. They also want to step out. When they step out, they want all within their reach. So that's what I feel the next generation.
Yeah, that's a great point. And I think it touches into all the aspects that all of you probably have heard about: the healthy buildings, sustainability, how is the people experience, how technology is impacting. And I mean, while you will have a plethora of things coming in, I think technology has, the IoTs have evolved during the pandemic. I think it just went next level because of safety purposes, and also how you connect with people, overnight changed. How do you connect with your organizations globally? Maybe there are some thoughts around, like, how technology made that possible, besides Zoom. I mean, everybody knows about, like, Zoom went up during the pandemic, but I'm talking about more immersive technologies like Meta brought in, and you're seeing those real time being used for, say, town halls, and the planning of spaces have changed. Any thoughts there, like you're seeing in your, or is there an appetite for the bank in incorporating forward thinking technologies for having a multifaceted look to your spaces? So it's actually making the, like how we saw the vertical, wall go up. All of these things are actually are becoming reality, where you want the spaces to be multifunctional. Like, hey, 9 to 4, my space works like a workstations, but then my crew wants clubs later, or they want to have a large town hall, a training room. And, within that envelope of real estate, you're not looking to get extra space, but you want to kind of optimize and do that. Are you seeing anyone who wants to talk about this topic a little bit? Like, are you seeing that shift around, Malancho, maybe? I know you're the only one here, but maybe the audience, are like.
I'd like to add on to after you're done.
So, Emma, yeah. Okay. So when I was looking at this blind and I was looking at this partition, and the moment it said the vertical going up, I said, it's such an amazing thing. So what was coming into my mind is that we are looking at making a couple of more campuses around in the country. So this is something which is like a great thought. You know, how much of space could be utilized, and also it gets camouflaged. So now, speaking of what we have currently and what's been in thought around it, of course, the automated partition moving out. So you don't have in manual interventions. So we have these auto shade blinds. I can tell you it's an amazing feeling from an employee, and you're talking about an experience point of view. You know, it works on the lumens of the light. So automatically you'll see the blinds going up. So that's from an employee perspective, it senses the amount of sunlight coming onto your glazing. And if you look from the outside, aesthetically, it looks wonderful, because in most places where you have manual blinds, you'll see some are here and some are here. So when you're looking at a building from an outside, the blinds really doesn't look good. But when you have such technology in place and you're looking at a building from outside, and that's when it came in, all the blinds of all the floors from one facade side is absolutely at the same height. So, you know, those things, technology and design needs to get incorporated
Absolutely.
together.
And I think, I mean, for the last 10 years, I've been going into these forums talking about smart cities, smart workplaces. And I think it's all interconnected. I mean, if anybody wants to, you know, put in inputs, please raise your hands here, because it's not just, you know, getting a discussion point, but next gen workplace, is possible only when, you know, everybody is working in a unidirectional manner to create those right frameworks. And I think, Gautam, that comes to your point of view, or that where the developers are creating that umbrella of amenities and ecosystem, you know, because it cannot be siloed. The workplace cannot be sitting in a silo of a building. It's actually talking to the outside through whether it's a BMS, the amenities, the energy efficiency systems and all. And so any thoughts there? Maybe, you know, I can go on
Yeah,
the topic.
actually, I want to just add a little more around technology. There are two parts to it. One, of course, is of the part of technology which employees or tenants who occupy a space, they see that front up, right? So let's say we use particular AI tools within our offices where we're able to monitor the kind of energy that our chiller units are consuming. So it monetizes, it understands where there's occupancy, which room there's higher occupancy, lesser. The chiller automatically regulates the kind of outflow. Now that's technology which a client sees as well, and that becomes a good talking point, in addition to, of course, the sustainability aspect. The other aspect of technology which we don't usually realize, and the kind of R&D that's happening, which serves us too, is the kind of material that we're able to use now building our workspaces because of technology. Another example is that we use a particular brand where they make partition walls, or they make acoustic panels, which is made out of waste straw. Now, earlier people would have materials which would not, which were probably not organic or which were not sustainable. But now we are able to create partitions and acoustic boards at probably 20% lesser the cost. But because of high better technology, we are able to even sustain these workspaces and go on the sustainability angle. So I think this whole conversation of next gen workspaces, it's no longer just about the next generation. It's more like a mindset. I think everyone covered that. It's more of a mindset where everyone gets together. And considering coming to the second point which you mentioned, and considering we represent a developer, so we have multiple commercial assets, residential assets, retail assets, and we have co-working spaces. An example of this where you mentioned amenities and an ecosystem. So we focus quite a bit on mixed use developments. Which means that we have a development where we've got residential, we've got commercial, grade A commercial. Within that grade A commercial, we offer managed workspaces, we offer ready to move in spaces, or we do custom build solutions. Within that ecosystem, we have malls, we have hotels, we have hospitals. Now, you don't want to just restrict employees or people within an office space. People want, like you said, VMS. VMS doesn't just start from the moment you enter your office. What we are integrating VMS when you enter the security of our entire gated campus, so people know that you've entered. or for that matter, introducing apps and technology where while you're sitting in your office, you're able to probably order food from the food court within the mall that is within your ecosystem. This gives us a lot more leverage as a brand. And I know a lot of people are now looking at these kind of developments to be a part of them because it makes life a little easier. You don't need to have all the amenities within your office space, but the ecosystem that you're a part of becomes an amenity in itself.
I mean, why I brought the technology part was because I've been seeing and working with a lot of banks and tech companies across the globe. And for the 10 years, we have used technologies like sensors to, check how the workspace is behaving, analyzing the data. But it was always being talked about that these technologies will integrate. How do you get the best integrated platforms? It's a huge investment for companies to really, look at their portfolio level, like how their workspaces are. I think the topics gets very complex, when you start to go into looking at how technology can make it smarter for the experience to be enhanced. But then everything comes at a dollar. Like you are paying a premium when you want a connected workspace. The ROI models. So I'm getting there on that hot topic. When all these frameworks are there, and I think the appetite in India has become severely high because of large amounts of workforce, especially Hyderabad. I mean, it's like just booming with, and there is need for all these technologies to make lives simpler, improve. What are the thoughts around the ROI models, the operational challenges that come? And I think they come early in the design phase. If we are working as a very conventional designer, we are going to fail in this workplace exercise because it's no more a physical design exercise anymore. It's bringing a lot of thoughtfulness, a lot of design thinking approach, which needs a lot more experience, not only from a design hat. I feel it's also from an operational standpoint, how the people are, how the cost to the company is, and also the experience of people is switched around between the human and the analog and the digital worlds, right? And so that integration, any thoughts there where you are kind of going on your next level of buildings and things, if you can throw light?
Just one small fact. I think a lot of things are becoming a lot easier now, thanks to a lot of companies who've already built these solutions. There are quite a few companies who've already built integrated apps or technologies where your day-to-day operations at workspaces also get taken care of, be it billing, be it consumables that you need to order, be it service recovery, anything that you're doing has become so integrated. We're not in times anymore where we need to build these from scratch because that increases your cost. A lot of companies have already built these where you can work with them, white label them, and use them within your organization. So just a thought on that, that we're able to reduce that aspect too by not heavily investing.
Any add-ons to that?
Maybe that's, I've been talking so much, it doesn't want me to give in any more comments.
No,
But what I was thinking and what has come into most places is it's during the design stage, the facilities or the property team comes in. They work in tandem in giving real-time feedback to the designers or to the project team of what didn't go well from a project they're already in, because you create something and then you move on, but the facility teams picks it up, lives through the journey till the time the facility is there. So I think it is very important that that real-time feedback comes in.
Yeah.
And then you and the design gets tweaked, and I'm talking from real-time experiences, what we are doing currently.
Yeah.
From
Absolutely. I
spec,
think that's a
they
valid.
change the specs, they change the design, because we're giving them feedback from what's happening at the space in that point in time.
I think, yeah, I mean, so coming back to the design process, all of these, like we talked about, Malancho, stakeholder involvement, I think that's very critical. FM's involvement is super important in a design process, inputs on how those operational efficiencies are achieved. Design process is requiring a larger amount of frameworks. And I think, Payal, you wanted to say
Yeah.
something there. Yeah.
I think for every designer or for any of the architects here, it is very important for them to work parallelly with all the operational teams. Because for me, it can be the aesthetics what I want to, portray or I want to deliver. But parallelly, if my user is sitting at the desk and I do not, I have provided the entire aesthetics for him, but then the AC is not working, the power is not up, the functional part doesn't suffice to it. So I think all the architects and everybody has to work like a team. And of course, like she's already mentioned, that operation parts do change a lots and lots of designs when you dive into it. So there are a lot of
Yeah.
things what change. When
That's
you deliver
that's a
it,
great
right?
point. And what I'm observing in terms of how those are approached, like typically when you get into a project, every designer is made to rush, just quickly create, a design, a test fit, a 3D, make it look nice with all these lights and, jazzy pick. I don't know. What are your thoughts on that approach? Because I feel it lacks a background setting of what placemaking should actually be. How you are really putting together those frameworks are probably much more important at the front seat of, you know, deciding on a design. Any views there? Yeah.
uh, uh, Design some time back was more like an art.
Yeah.
Everybody's artistic in nature, but going forward, design can be art, but there's also a lot of science in coming in. That's where technology comes, because everything has to be measured from your productivity to consumption to usage. So that's where it is moving. Again, for us as developers, in most Western global cities, if you've observed, there is a lot of retail portion to multi-tenanted buildings, and you'll never find compound walls, correct? So somewhere down the line, we also have to move to a space as developers where we create these public realms where public can also access these retail spaces without any security hindrances, because it's a public space. So that the ROI perspective for these operators also gets maximized. At the same time, your security should start actually from your lobby, not from your gate. That's one. Second, I really like what Dorma said about, one campus, one key. We are also trying to work where you get one access with one card. So we want to make it, we're trying to work with operators. We just have two operators in India who can have this functionality which you're working with. We're trying to ensure that the moment you come in, till you go to your space, everything is extremely experiential nature. One of the things which I was discussing with Manoj some time back is it possible for me to integrate my turnstile, my access card on the turnstile, which will allow me to know which lift I take at the turnstile itself? I need not go again press a button, because then it increases my operational efficiency of the elevators, because elevators taking every single queue. Today, one employee walks in and then one button, 10
talent. And I think all of that will continue to happen. So human intervention is, I think, going to continue to be very high. Besides technology also making it seamless. That's my just to sense on that topic. Moving on to our last question here, and how can the future how would these future workplaces look like? Is there anybody who wants to take that question? It's open. Audience, guys, anybody wants to put their inputs? Okay. Okay, that's perfect.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Sai Krishna. So I had architecture and design for Code Architects.
Okay. Hi.
Yeah. So it was interesting what you guys were doing it. Yeah, sorry. So it was interesting to listen to you on your perspective on office spaces. But just a small bit, my question is lengthier. So do you all follow social media where in the previous summer, office workers in Switzerland, they were coming home, they were jumping in a stream, and they were swimming back home. Don't you think that is very interesting? Did you all observe that? Don't you think that excites people to work?
Absolutely. Yeah.
But here, it's all about space. That was about moving traffic and movement. Apparently, we don't have something like that. Maybe Musi can do that. Yeah. So my home. Yeah. Okay. Maybe I might throw up.
You're talking about the infrastructural challenges that come specific
Not so
nuances to India.
seriously. Not so seriously.
Okay.
But in the same light. So maybe I'm giving my home an option that their houses can be downstream Musi and their workspaces can be upstream Musi. Something like that, maybe in policy. And let me add up. So this is not my question actually. My question is, so in the world of digital detox, right? And in the world of screens and blue screens and all of that, you're talking about, glare and all of that. But how do you come with human touch and tactility and, apart from smart, apart from, plastic and, screens and color, maybe organic, but how do you, if I be very specific, tactility, things that can make you feel human in office spaces? Because most of our office spaces, if you observe all of this part of the city, it is not contextual in terms of design. It looks global. It makes you feel lost of your identity. It makes you feel small. If I'm very,
Offices are of the same level. There are some who are making an effort on bringing local.
No, I'm talking about
context,
in a general, I want to put it on a general platter.
general, yeah.
Yeah. And added to that, your office spaces are driven mostly through technology. And if I'm in the builder's perspective, it is all minimal. So it is great, dull psychology of spaces that doesn't really excite people. It is not fun. So
I think that's where builders get in, architects too.
Don't.
No, I can relate to your pain. Recently, we had a global client, and they had a very tight guideline.
So
And our designer came with a very beautiful concept, and bringing like a lot of heart to the workspace and how people collaborate, and kind of breaking it down into elements. And the global playbook was very stringent. They wanted very boxular, no open ceilings. We want to have this kind of a workstation only. And it felt like going back in time, like 10 years ago for India. So I definitely relate to your question is like the global guidelines, when they come to India, I think need to rub into the local context very much. This is a very important thing because it doesn't relate to the people.
So
And,
we are doing
that's for all global
so
corporates sitting here. Yeah.
at Code Architects, we are doing tier 2 workspaces. We are not because of the competition, right now we are not doing tier one workspaces, but we are doing, something big in, we are proposing something big in tier twos. And our understanding of the worker in tier two made us realize all of this.
Could I ask
A
one
great
question
point.
to you, if you don't mind? I mean, your point is really valid. Hence, it'll give us some idea.
I mean, your approach, I mean, I'm not, please take it as a compliment, but what you guys are trying to do in terms of engaging workspaces for individuals and, so somewhere down the line, it is very grayish because of the over imposition of technology. So how do you balance?
This is a great input, I think, and that's where instead of global, it needs to be local. Right? While we are putting a canvas of a array of things, if it won't have local context, you will never build your culture, right? So that's where the strategy is coming from the global, but the culture is still tying with your local.
And
people.
sorry, but to add up, the best worker in the world is Indian.
That's what?
Best workers in the world right now, technology, are Indians.
Indian workers have gone abroad. So
Yeah. So the next breed of workers are also going to be Indian. So your European standards and your world standards, they're going to dilute.
I would not make it a statement because I've worked with a lot of people from different countries. And I think while we may have a larger set of people who are very hardworking, but there are creative people all across the world. Yeah. So I think we need to be respectful of that. Yeah.
Hello, panel, everyone, all the audience. Hi, I'm architect Ravikiran Raju. And the question was like, how do you imagine your futuristic offices, right? Am I right? So like recently I've seen like Elon Musk, he has released his driverless car, right? So many of the drivers, they have lost their jobs, but I'm not talking about that. So in future, like I have a lot of confidence on Elon Musk. So now he started building cities and homes on planet Mars. So maybe tomorrow, after 10 years, the same meeting might be on planet Mars. That may be the future. So for building homes.
First conference will be, Rashmi will be hosting it in Mars.
So like the globe has accepted Elon Musk, and he thinks like there should be an human expansion on different planets, and humans should not stop. The evolution should not stop. That is the agenda, and that is the tagline. Like he's running his own all the business. Yeah. So coming to me, like I from my home to get into my office, I have to travel 25 kilometers. 25 kilometers in Hyderabad is a huge everyday big task, but I love it. Why I love it? Because I get chance every day to see life of all the Hyderabadis. So like generally for any families, the fathers, generally what happens, like based on the guy's job and his income, they'll give her daughter for marriage. So the officers should be at that level. By looking at the office, they should give her daughter. That should be the future.
I don't know where this topic is going, but I think I'll just take the sentiment here is that the experience starts from home to the journey of an employee starts from home to the workplace, and that I think needs a larger contribution from everyone. The developers, the end users, the corporates, we have to work like a community. I think some of their, organizations are working. I have come across in the US as well, like Google is working with local bodies. They are creating a last mile, the large campus they have in San Jose. What they have done is, but not every corporate has that kind of funding, but it's a collaborative work. They've, tied with many other corporates to create a last mile from the metro to their office. So a Googler, when he gets out of the San Jose station, can bike to their campus. And so, they've been very thoughtful of designing not just the workplace, but around. And that's what I was actually mentioning that, a next gen workplace is to do with also a smart city. Yes. And so the developers, designers, corporates, we all have a role, in terms of our social responsibility, working together. When sustainability is a big topic, inclusivity, it's a hype word as well for organizations to just throw it. But does it really connect what it really means to your employee? If it can make that end story, then I think that organization is very powerful in their positioning of hiring that talent, right?
And then also one last point I want to mention. I feel like city is like overcrowded. Like I think it is more than there are
More
a
than it
lot
can
of
take.
people. Yes, I feel like it is overloaded. So my request, if there have to be any future offices like in regional areas, in towns and villages, there should
I think
also
that's
be.
all happening. Yeah, so this is all part
because-
of corporate strategy.
Yes.
But you know what? When they go to tier two, you'll be the first one who will not be going there. That's also, so a lot of organizations are plugging money into tier two and then getting the talent. It happened even I worked for Google in 2 years in California, and when they were saying, okay, we will send a lot of people to Texas, it was not an easy game nobody wanted a salary cut. So those are the hard questions that will happen unless you're hiring new talent, right?
So like he said, like human touch is very, very important in offices. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for your inputs. It's been a great session, all of you. Thank you so much for your inputs again. I will let Rashmi take over. Thank you for having us. Yeah. I don't know if you overshot the time. But
No, absolutely not. And thank you, speakers, for also taking the lightheartedness in taking the audience questions with y'all in your gist. Thank you so much for your insights. I remember Maloncho, not only, I remember she said, y'all even take inputs from the HR and the other stake members. And for me, the stake members only limited to the names that I mentioned, with be it our developers and your facility managers. But now we realize that there is another set that is coming into picture, which is like a really big step. I don't know how well even the developers are integrating this, but it'd be really nice to see how this is going forward.
I would just put a wrap on this session, is that the torch is in your hands.
Yeah, absolutely. Each one of you
everyone
there,
plays a
actually.
big role, and just remember the torch is in your hand. So play a role where you are on that front. Yeah, thank you.
So, with this, Survi, thank you so much for moderating. There is a huge round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for our opening panel discussion. I'm going to call on stage Mr. Somnath Chaudhary from Dormakaba and Mr. Srinivas Kancherla, who's the zonal manager with Wipro Seating, to give our panel members a small token of appreciation from our end. Quickly calling on stage each of the members. So first to Surbi for moderating this beautiful panel. Thank you so much, Surbi. She pushed into every question and also gave her bit. Thank you so much for that. We next have Ms. Maloncho, who was the only facility manager on this panel, taking a lot of shots from Surbi. Thank you so much, Maloncho, for so kind-heartedly joining us here. We next have Siddharth Verma from Buzzworks of Brigade Group for giving his bit about the next gen workspaces that is coming up, which is your flexible co-working spaces. And finally, we have Payal Podar, who was the second architect on the panel that luckily gave Surbi her balance with this panel. Thank you so much, Payal. And finally, we have Mr. Gautam Gadela, who was from the developer side. He not only got it from the panel, but also from the audience member who wanted you to build across Musi. Thank you so much, Gautam, for being here. And it's an immense pleasure. Thank you. Thank you so much, Gautam. Thank you so much, gentlemen. Should put speakers. We can do it later. He wanted a group photo with the speakers, but we'll do that. Do y'all mind if y'all come back? Somnath, aa jaiye. We'll take a quick group photo with the speakers. No, that's okay. She seemed very. is this lot. Oh God. It's good. It's that. I need to get the hats for that. I will do it next time. No, thank you. We'll have the hotel clear the chairs from the podium. And while my panel is taking their group pictures, I'd like to introduce the next speaker on this particular dais, which is Mr. Amjad Ali. Thank you so much, speakers, once again. Like I mentioned, to introduce the next speaker on the stage, we have Mr. Amjad Ali, who is the product marketing manager for Wipro Seating. And also joining him is Saurabh Bhattacharjee, who is the category lead for modern workspaces and channels for Wipro Lighting Solutions. So I'm going to call in both the gentlemen on stage. And given that seating and lighting both play a very critical element in our workspaces, it'd be really nice to see a company like Wipro and with their research and their product line, what they have in store for us. With that, gentlemen, a huge round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for both the members coming on stage.
Have you ever considered how profoundly lighting influences our lives? From setting the mood to defining productivity, safety, and aesthetics, light plays a pivotal role in our everyday experiences. Enter Wipro Commercial and Institutional Business, a trailblazer in the realm of commercial lighting and human wellness. For over 3 decades, we have been revolutionizing light and seating solutions, enhancing our lives in offices, commercial spaces, and even the outdoors. With over 33 years of experience, Wipro continues to innovate, shaping our lives through light. Imagine a world where lighting solutions not only illuminate, but also enhance our lives. At Wipro, we are turning this vision into a reality with innovative technologies that prioritize human wellness. Picture low glare lights that reduce accidents on our streets while providing security through the right amount of illumination. These aren't just lights, they're guardians of safety, bringing comfort to pedestrians and women alike. Now let's move indoors. Imagine a workspace where light enhances concentration, where acoustic solutions mitigate noise, allowing productivity to thrive. These are environments where human-centric design takes center stage. And it's not just about light. Consider seating solutions that prioritize ergonomics, fostering stress-free and comfortable working conditions. These are spaces that truly put people first, that understand the balance between function and comfort. Wipro's dedication to human-centric design is revolutionizing how we perceive and interact with our surroundings. This is the future of lighting, and it's a future we're eager to share with you. But Wipro's vision extends beyond the confines of our offices and homes. We're illuminating the path to a more sustainable future, with our outdoor lighting solutions protecting wildlife through dark sky initiatives. We're committed to green building and WELL standards, fostering environments that are not only efficient, but also kind to our planet. Join Wipro Commercial and Institutional Business as we take a step towards human spaces, a world where lighting and seating solutions are designed with you in mind for a healthier, more efficient, and better tomorrow.
Well, a very good evening to all of you. I'm Saurabh Bhattacharjee, category lead for Wipro Modern Workspaces. Wipro Lighting has been there for more than 30 years. And in this 30 years, we have been one of the pioneers in lighting in India. And over the time, we have been recognized by several Indian as well as international agencies for our continuous improvement in design and technology. We live in an ever-changing world, and we know that change is the only constant in this world. And with that, our office spaces are also changing. If you look into it, in the last few decades, earlier there was baby boomers, then Generation X, then millennials, and then Gen Z. Office spaces used to be very confined spaces, more restrictive. Now it's open, flexible, people ideate. It's no more one desk for one person. The entire office is for the employees. They can sit anywhere. There is also hybrid over there. Now, what do we mean by high-performing workspaces? Workspaces which looks into energy efficiency, flexibility, Inclusivity, that means people from diverse background, ethnicity, different capabilities. Technology integration, we all know without technology, we cannot improve workspace and we can never be modern. And last but not the least, occupants' health and wellness. What are the materials used? How it is used? Is it really affecting the health and wellness of the employees? Do the companies really care about them? Now, these are not my words. If you get into LEED and world standards, there are multiple factors which are talking about it. But today over here, we'll talk about indoor environment quality, light, sound, materials, and community. And with this aim in mind, Wipro CIB business aims to improve indoor environment quality that promote wellness at workspaces. And these are three factors. One is spaces which are well lit to boost productivity, spaces which are quieter to enhance well-being, and spaces with the right ergonomics bring in maximum comfort. Now, if we come to lighting, the first part in lighting which promotes wellness is circadian rhythm. Now, what is circadian rhythm? It's human-centric lighting. Light affects three hormones in our body: cortisol, melatonin, and serotonin. These hormones are responsible for our agility, productivity, and our mood, that is happy mood. Now, with right lighting, we can control this hormone up to some extent. Then comes enhanced daylight access. Scientifically, it is seen that a person, when exposed to natural sunlight, can have better sleep for hours. Visual balance, it's not only about horizontal illumination, but also about vertical. That is how we get volumetric lighting. Glare control, we all know that bad glare causes eye fatigue, loss in productivity. And last but not least, dark sky solutions. That I'll cover later. Now, with all this philosophy in mind, we bring to you Lano. Lano is a colorimetric lens light, and the first time in India in colorimetric lens we have achieved a beam angle of 65 degrees. Generally, if you see those who are into designing, with colorimetric lens, you can achieve maximum beam angle of 35 degrees. But with our expert engineering and optics, we have achieved 65 degrees. That means less number of fixtures, and you can also save on carbon footprint. It comes with UGR less than 13, CRI 90 and flicker free for supreme comfort, and zero leak technology for ultimate seamless integration. These are some of the projects which we have done in recent past. Now, Starry Night. Starry Night has become a distant fable for us. We don't see the stars which we used to see earlier. That is because of light pollution. It is said that 83% of the people or the population lives under polluted sky. This is also confusing the migratory birds, loss of energy, and also we cannot see the stars. And this is also creating a lot of health hazards for human beings. Now, as an answer to this, we bring to you Vista, the first made in India dark sky approved light. If you see in this light, all the light is moving downward. So it is actually illuminating the area which is required, not the light is not spilling out. Now, technology. So we know that without technology, we can never be modern and we cannot have a well-being at the workspace. Wipro has an extensive range of smart and connected services and solutions. With this, we have done more than 20 projects, 40,000 connected devices, and have almost 4 million square feet of space. We have Bluetooth Low Energy, human-centric lighting, indoor and outdoor smart solutions, and also intelligent IoT systems. iSense is our wireless system. This is the first of its kind in India. It's truly wireless. That means you'll be saving on 30% on carbon footprint. The lighting can be automated through this with use of sensors and curtain controls. It can analyze data for optimal utilization of resources. It can be seamlessly integrated with existing BMS system. And it can be expanded further. Sound. Sound is a detrimental factor in offices. Too much sound is causing well-being of the employees, both psychologically and behaviorally. It is said 52% of the productivity is hindered by background noise, 26% distracted by ringing phones, and 22% people are actually frustrated because of the sound in workplace. And thereby we bring to you Wipro Acoustics. It's a perfect amalgamation of light with acoustics. It's a patented technology which provides NRC of 0.85 to 0.9, and it is completely accredited, tested and certified by a ARAI accredited lab. The material is patented and it is 100% recyclable and sustainable. This is the entire gamut of acoustic range we have. It's a seamless integration with the lighting as well as sound. So now with this, I'd like to invite my colleague Amjad Ali to take us through the rest of the solutions in acoustic and seating. Amjad.
Yeah, thank you, Saurabh. So moving from the acoustic lighting, we change now to the products which we have in our accessories of seating solutions. We have a product which actually is a combination of innovation, research, design, aesthetics, as well as the elements. We have something called a Flippo. This is a multi-purpose screen divider. You can say you can use it as a divider. We have a marker in front, and the same product can be rotated and can be used as a TV mount or a screen mount. So again, when it comes to the acoustics solutions, we have a product called as Privy. And these are all individual panels which can be shaped and can be around your workspace to give you a more personal space. The next product is our focus box, which is actually creates a very unique kind of design and pattern, which gives you a complete unique your time inside a cubicle, which is a noise-free, and it also has a sensor-activated light fan and also has an ambience climate controller. So we introduce ourselves as the fastest growing premium Indian seating brand. And we have a wide range of products which we deliver in the various segments of infrastructure, institution, healthcare, residential, stadiums, as well as, of course, modern office spaces. When it comes to task seating, when it comes to collab range, when it comes to cafeteria, auditorium, or the public spaces. We have all varieties of ranges within all these segments. And we have all certified as a from BIFMA. It has given us a structural stability test, the strength durability, and of course, VOC emission testing for all of our products. We are also India's #1 brand in auditorium segment. And these are the few of the shots which we have installed already, and we have completed the projects pan-India. So why Wipro? Our strength, we give innovative human-centric design. We give importance to our customer. We are quality and reliability owed, and we have a presence across nation India. So thank you, gentlemen and ma'ams.
Thank you, Mr. Amjad, and thank you, Mr. Saurav, for the beautiful presentation and for some of those unique products that Wipro is getting into the market now. And for our final industry address by Bunidam before our final panel discussion, I would love to call on stage Mr. Ashish Kumar, who is the Director for Sales and Services at Bunidam, to give us a quick glimpse into what the company has in stock for us for its security systems and solutions. With that, I would love to call on stage Mr. Ashish.
Wow. Yeah, got it.
Bienvenue. Bienvenido. Welcome. Welcome to the first moment you enter. The first steps. Taking you into a new experience. A journey which begins with us. With us, you're in safe hands, inside and out. And inside, your day starts. Your work, a protected space, or just a moment with your friends. Come in, because doors and avenues will open for you. Ours and our security solutions. And our security solutions ensure that what lies on the other side is safe. We may be just a small part of a large building, but we create a grand first impression. Together, we welcome you into the world's most inspirational buildings, from the Rijksmuseum in Amsterdam to the Burj Khalifa in Dubai. And for the design, we craft a contemporary masterpiece, expertly produced to all that a building deserves, holding service in our hearts and dedication to our people. We go beyond what is expected. That is our passion. For more than 140 years, we've ensured people feel welcome and secure. We are Boon Edam, your entry experts.
Good evening. Good evening to the creator of modern Hyderabad. You know, I'm traveling and coming to Hyderabad from last 15 years, and it's given me immense pleasure and pride when I see the change skyline of Hyderabad. So thank you to all of you, which give this pride to us. You are creating such a nice infrastructures and landscape, and thank you for making us part of this your plan to creating innovative, secure, and sustainable buildings. So here I'm presenting a company Boon Edam, which is started in 1873, and last year only we completed 150 years. So this company has seen all the innovations and the change of skyline, not even in India as well as the globe, and be a part of it. Even in India also, we have completed 24 years. So we are present as a factory in 3 continents, having presence in more than 60 countries. It's a truly global company. Our business are in 3 different verticals. We deals into the revolving doors, we deal into security solutions, and we deal into services. When I'm talking about services like installing the product and maintaining and by the company people. That is most important part. And there are many questions which Mr. Gautam and solution member was discussing. I have some answers. I'm sure I don't know where he is, but I definitely want to answer that. Okay, so I'm not going to talk about the company product, but yeah, why revolving door and why security barrier, that is more important part. And that is going to be my part of discussion. So why revolving door? Revolving door is always open and always close. Why? Because it's having wings, which is continuous moving. So it doesn't allow outside weather to come inside or inside to outside, but yeah, it allows people to cross from one side to other side. Because of the it's preventing weather to transfer from one side to other side. It's a sustainable entrance with a sustainable material. It's a quieter and healthier building, which we are talking about. My colleague from other industry were talking about quieter and healthier building, acoustics and all. It reduced thermal transfer, definitely. It contain more usable lobby space because of design, because it's circular in shape. So the space which you get is more. And definitely it's more greener building because it doesn't have any leakages and plus doesn't break any envelope. So when we are talking about a revolving door, I'll share a very innovative test which we have done with the revolving door. Can you play this? Yeah. So generally when you use openable windows, openable doors, so 50% leakages happen with the doors and windows, which is having the facade. So what we have done with the revolving door, we filled the next piece. You can see that this is a leakage. In this revolving door, one compartment filled with the smoke. And now with the test, you can see how while rotating, how less the energy is getting lost. With the revolving door, you save 40% energy. Your HVAC load comes down. So it's next gen office solutions. We are talking more and more next gen solutions. This help for next gen office solutions. Nowadays, the temperature difference is getting more and more difference from outside to inside. It's more and more like more than 20 or 25-degree difference. So revolving door solutions will help you to reduce the energy needs. Now I'll talk next product, which is the security barrier. Why security barriers for your next gen office spaces? Definitely, it's help you to control the crowd. It help you to deter, and it helps you to detection in terms of authorized and unauthorized users from one side to other side. And when you detect, it's prevent, and you can plan your service better. So having said that, the barrier is not only for the entry and exit solutions. With barrier, you can plan your crowd properly. If you have to give a limited access somebody from one point to other point, or you have to control security point of view. Plus, with the level of securities, we can have a different type of input and output from your barrier. So that is more important. And now, day by day, like we are having a workforce in thousands of numbers, and control, we have to have a controlled access to all the workforce. These are one of the like essential part in any of the modern facilities. Having said that, now I'm coming about the customer, what we have. So we are serving to Fortune 500 customers globally, even here in country also, having customer across the India, up in north to down south to east to north. And I'm not going to talk all the customers and installations, but yeah, I have picked 4 innovative solutions because we're talking more and more innovation and next gen thing, and which include this city also, one of the installation from this city also. Up in the north, we have done 5.5 meter high revolving door with a 9-foot dia size. So it doesn't break the elevation of the facade, which we're talking about, plus give it the grand opening look. Then in your cities, IKEA having 7.4 meter dia door. And other than the 7.4 meter dia door, they have 3 other dia doors also. So it's a big size door. Why needed? Because they have to push a lot of people, a crowd from one side to other side, plus with the big size of furnitures. So that's why I need big size of doors. Then up in the east, where Mr. Gautam was talking about a single card, I don't know where I'm searching. Okay, maybe it's outside. He was talking about a solution. Can a single card work in his barrier as well as elevator also? So yes, the barrier can be integrated with elevator destination control. Your single card can work for all entire facilities. And then in western side, we have a glass revolving door. So all glass look, all the mechanism, everything inside of the floor, you'll have the clear glass look. Having said that, we have an experience center in Mumbai. So I invite all of you, whenever you are visiting next to Mumbai, or you're interested to see this innovative products, because we have all the product display over there, please do visit us. And thanks for patient listening, and have a great evening. Thank you. I hope I've covered within time. Thank you.
We're comfortable. We're making them safer. We aren't just cutting costs, we're cutting carbon footprint. We aren't just trying to change the world, we're building a better one. Our customers choose a full stack solution of hardware and software that works out of the box, with smart sensors and controls that bring unparalleled indoor air quality and industry-leading energy efficiency to more businesses in more places than ever before. Our supporters include some of the biggest names in energy and technology. And with offices in the US, India, and Singapore, we've built a new automation platform that is more open, more scalable, and more convenient. We are 75F, the future of control today.
To move on to the final panel discussion of the day, which is titled Upcycling Workplaces, which is about tackling a building's midlife crisis. We've heard a lot from the industry where they say that refurbishing, renovating, or upgrading existing workspaces have been apparently much more difficult for them than even building new ones. So this particular panel discussion, we have speakers talking about this particular topic where they are upgrading workspaces, and it's really with immense pleasure I would love to call on stage each of my speakers and the moderator. But before that, I just wanted to quickly let you all know that for this particular panel discussion also we have the chairs shipped here all the way from Pune once again from Wipro for our speakers here on the panel. And this one is called Spectra, and chair that offers widest lumbar support in the industry, which is perfect for long working hours within the industry, and with the striking design and 3D armrest to inspire workplaces as such. So with this, I'm going to call on stage each of my panel members. To first call is Mr. Babu Korutu, who is the Real Estate and Facility Senior Manager at Verizon. He will be moderating this particular session, and joining him is Mr. Gaurav Dubey, who is the Vice President for Administration at Citco Group. Along with them is Uday Desai, who is the head for commercial real estate and WPS at ADP. And also joining him is as an architect on this panel, architect Yusuf, who is the director at SWBI. And finally joining them from the IPC's end is Mr. Shrikant Reddy, who is the managing director at Cushman and Wakefield. With this, I am gonna quickly hand this over to Mr. Babu and take it over with this panel members. You'd like to... Oh.
No, 16.
Yeah, please. Good evening, Hyderabad. There's a chill. Come on, friends. Let us cheer. I know I am standing between there and here, the clink of the glasses. We have time till 9 o'clock. I'll try to finish as early as possible. So today our topic is midlife crisis. I wanted to make it an engaging discussion. So anybody from the audience, what is midlife crisis? Not about building, forget about facilities or workplaces. What is midlife crisis? Anyone? Come on, some of us are already past, or some of us will soon reach there. So midlife crisis, normally, people, it can be female, male, they feel, at the, fag end of our life, something like, 40 to 50 years or 60 years, they will doubt about their existence, identity. They will try to, rejuvenate themselves. Unfortunately, you must have heard about, some eagles, they can shed their nails and pecks and, make, more life more vigorable. But, unfortunately, men cannot do that. So, old men like me will wear, jeans and printed shirts in the office. I like me person, they will go for, they will leave the car and go for Harley Davidson motorbike. They will download Tinder app, all those kind of stuffs. So coming back to the point, we are here to discuss about the midlife crisis of workplace, office workplace, as well as the building. We have an eminent panel here. I will just, ask each one of them to quickly introduce themselves. Then we will go ahead with the panel discussion.
Thanks, Babu. My name is Gaurav Dubey. I'm heading facility and admin in Sitco Group Services India LLP Hyderabad. I have overall experience of around 17 years in managing facilities, taking care of real estate, managing transport, security, and all aspect of administration. Yep, this topic is quite related to our day-to-day management because we deal with such crisis when we are thinking about having some automation and we are seeing our current status of building and finding, okay, something is missing. What all we can add here? So moving next to
Uday.
My name is Uday. I still a student of facilities and property management. Still trying to learn things about facility management. Honored and privileged to be with such distinguished speakers. I work for ADP Private Limited here in Hyderabad. Thank you so much.
Srikanth.
I'm Srikanth. I'm very honored to be on this panel, especially two of my most important clients, Verizon and ADP, who have gone through midlife crisis in the past. We'll discuss those things in detail.
Thanks, Sri. Yusuf.
Yeah, so I am just like Uday. I am also a student of architecture since last 30 years and waiting for my midlife crisis.
Hey, thanks, panel. Let us go to a very interactive and interesting discussion. I am Babu Koru. I take care of the infrastructure and office projects for Verizon. I'm in that company, unfortunately, for last 15 years. And almost, all the panelists are, many of the audience are my good friends. We always, used to meet in many forums and discussions. We always make it a very important meeting or, network session, you call it anything. Okay, see, what is the first building happened? And we'll talk about Hyderabad. We'll like the last panel called, we'll go local. Okay, we'll go local. What is the first IT building or, the grade A stylish, IT office built in Hyderabad? Anyone? Cyber Towers. When it was happened? 1998. I still remember that because that was my marriage year also. I still remember that. It is around 26 years old. Chandrababu Naidu inaugurated that. So what I heard that maybe Srikanth is from the industry, he can correct that. So Hyderabad is almost having 140 million square feet of grade A buildings alone. And this year or in the coming years, another 40 million square feet is coming up for occupation or for the industry. The interesting part is that like the cyber towers, like something like 25-30% of the buildings are old, and some of the offices, it is something like an old style of offices, and there is some kind of a transformation happening, an evolution happening. So let us hear from Gaurav. Gaurav, what is the current scenario? So can you just explain, okay, what is happening? Either it may be the buildings or midlife crisis or the inside office midlife crisis, how industry is coping up with that. Can you give some insight?
Thanks, Babu. So this topic is taking traction now. Like our offices are older. We are seeing new offices in neighborhood. We are seeing so many skyline buildings here. So ultimately, the buildings who are old, who are around 20 or 15 years old, the people working from there or the facility managers are thinking that, okay, what all things we are missing not being in the super, specific offices which are quite new in some IT parks. So there are so many items that we see as, part of our need to be in the new office, which should not be the life, the crisis for the old offices. So first thing, what I see here is sustainability. So, the offices which are older, they are lacking in so many initiatives where the sustainability can happen in a faster way, in a better way. But those are not available because of the design, because of the nature of building. Even sometimes we see if we want to add more and more items related to sustainability, related to a goal which is required from the regulatory compliances, the structure is not allowing us to do that. So these kind of crises are very much visible in the buildings who are going through the, the crisis, age crisis now. Most of the offices which are relating for Gen Z, like we talked about in the previous panel, so much futuristic design are required to make them happy and comfortable in the new offices where they can enjoy, they can collaborate, but the structure is not made with that options. So the well-being and employee engagement is sometimes missing in the, the new set of offices available, but not in the old age offices. Also, we see the goals, the regulatory compliances like fire system, the BMS system, the IoT sensors, which are now helping our new organization, new buildings, to achieve so many certifications like platinum, lead. They're not able to get it. But sometimes they feel that how can we get it? Because our offices are not made of that situation where we can achieve all the goals, all, sustainability or modern look. So these are the basic thing. And the talk about facility, like now the talk is in facility industry. If a person is looking for better opportunity, should he join a company which is in the new IT park, or going for a aged crisis building? So what should be the trend of new generation while they are managing offices or they are going to office to work? So these are the basic talks which is happening now in industry for these two category of offices across Hyderabad.
Thanks. Well said, Gaurav. So I will just, I will go in the order. So Uday is one of my close pal. 2 weeks back, we were together in Goa for a conference and we had some nice time there. So, if I'm not giving a preference in the early, he will kick me after some time. So, let me go to him. So Uday, so you are in the facility management industry. You are the insider, the client for a long time. So what is your challenges, or maybe a person stepping on your shoe, you just imagine a person, you are the shoes of a facility manager. He is working out of an old building, it can be an old campuses. So what are those challenges you face it as a client, maybe your own campus, for your day-to-day operations, or what is that take for you?
For the sake of the audience, let me tell you that these questions are already released. Paper out hua tha pehle. So I tried to prepare. So what I did was I prepared and then went to ChatGPT. So I got the answers here. Surprisingly, 99% of the answers that I actually written matched what ChatGPT was actually saying. So my natural intelligence and artificial intelligence match. So, okay. The first one was the structural limitations, Babu. Structural limitations, if you look at it, what happened 30 years ago is not relevant 30 years later. So structural integrity, structural limitations basically talk along structural and also design at the same time. Compatibility. What happened 30 years ago might not be relevant today. For example, 30 years ago, there were many two-wheelers in the city. Today, everybody is flush with money, including you. So you have four-wheeler. 20 years ago, 30 years ago, we were actually driving on a two-wheeler, right? So everybody wants a parking space for four-wheeler. So where do we find that? In the 30-year-old building. Retrofitting is actually costlier than new construction. Let us be very clear about it, because we need to demolish and construct new. One of the things that I've seen in most of the organizations that I've come across, and Srikanth and Yusuf will, I'm very sure they'll agree with me. Most of the organizations that here in Hyderabad, especially IT, ITS companies, including pharma and the financial institutions that we have here, every 10 years, they tend to basically redo the interior fit outs. So that's another thing. While they do interior fit outs, does that basically speak to the overall structural integrity of the building, how it functions over a period of time? And I mean, 30 years is a long time, Babu. So building codes also change, compliances change. How do we basically manage that? These are all the things that come across to occupier per se. When you are occupying an old building, what do I do with it? Challenges regarding energy management or ESG scoring, plumbing, all those issues come across. So these are the major issues that I have seen. And Srikanth already validated he actually helped us go through that particular phase.
I thought of asking some out of syllabus questions to him, but about sustainability, energy, and efficiency, yes, very much. The old buildings, it's something like a what you call holy white elephant. It is vertical, meaning unnecessary money. Where we could move to sustainable, efficient offices. And let me move to Srikanth. Srikanth is my dear friend and industry colleague. For long years, we do have a long association. In fact, Srikanth must have, leased, almost our offices in India. Thank you so much for that, Sri. Sri, because we all are the facility managers, maybe Uday or Gaurav or me, we are something like, the frog in the well kind of syndrome. We only know our company. Maybe, forums like this, interactions with like this, we may come to know about it, but your case is an absolutely different. You are from a transaction real estate agent. You have, close relation with your interactions with developers, close relations with, ITs companies, or maybe, say, for example, now I heard that more than 100 GCC companies are, global capability centers are coming to Hyderabad. So, what is your take? So you have, interaction when they reach out to India or Hyderabad, for an office expansion, first thing, they do is something like, meeting people like, Sri to know about the environment, to see the feasibility of the office or, establishing offices. So what is your take, Sri? Where do the industry stand? So are the developers are ready to go for upcycling the existing building, or are they going to demolish the entire building or going for new? So what is the trend? Are they ready? Because I am facing some challenges with my existing landlord, because it's in a very old building. I work in two. One is a very brand new building and one is an old building. I know all those challenges. So what is your perspective, Sri?
So 2-3 important things there. So one, retrofitting the building and whether we should retrofit or demolish. So demolition doesn't happen always. Probably in Hyderabad for 2-3 occasions it happened because Hyderabad has a peculiar option of unlimited FSI. So previous buildings are, let's say, 200-300,000 square feet buildings. Now they can go up to million square feet. So commercially, it works for them in few occasions, but most of the other occasions, like if your building size is already larger building, demolition doesn't make any sense because it takes time to demolish, construct, cash flows issues. Every developer look at 6 to 7 years cash flow. From the perspective, it doesn't work. So there are good instances today. Now, from Hyderabad perspective, there is an estimate that about 30 odd million square feet buildings have to go for retrofits in order to attract grade A tenants, right? Now, we are already seeing about 8 to 10 million square feet of buildings with various developers already in the process of putting their minds together, doing budget estimates, how they have to retrofit, what they have to do. So Mindspace is a classic example. They started retrofitting the entire campus in phased manner, right? They started already retrofitting the common areas of the campus. And now when it comes to building, they've decided to retrofit every building. Now, classic example is, let's say, Maximus, 3A, 3B building where IBM was there for 15 years. IBM was like, okay, this building is dilapidated, fit outs are old. I have to vacate this building to attract new tenants. They vacated eventually. Now, Raheja had an option whether to demolish or to retrofit, and they decided to retrofit it. And they've done a very beautiful job. They spent about 500, 600 rupees per square feet. They have retrofitted entire common areas, lobbies, lifts. They've changed the entire backbone of the building, which is air conditioning system, DGs. They've upgraded everything. And it is a new building today. Now, when IBM wanted more space, when we have shown this building after 3 years, they said, what the hell? Why did we vacate this building? Right? So buildings can be retrofitted. It's just that right minds need to come together. Budgets need to be there. And there's no choice for the developers to retrofit the buildings today to get the tenants, as simple as that. And everybody is doing it. All large developers have started thinking in those lines. Few of them already started implementing. Big issue comes up when the building is strata sold. When you have multiple owners in the building, it is next to impossible to get all of them together to spend money into the building back. That's the issue.
So Srikanth made a very valid point that developers or the industry will prefer upcycling or refurbishing or retrofitting the existing building rather than going for a complete demolition and new building, because it involves a lot of article environmental hazards. Where are you going to dump this waste, construction waste? All those kind of things will come to play. I'll just now go to Yusuf. He is from a different perspective, but we all cannot survive without people like Yusuf. He is the SWI architect firm director. So Yusuf, what is your perspective from a designer's perspective? So an old building, can it be matched with your designs to as good as a good grade A building? Or will the new entrants will be interested in those kind of buildings? Or what can be the challenges? What can be the innovative way you can design that old buildings to look or behave as new as possible?
Yes, thank you. First of all, I would like to call out one more thing, that in IT space, the midlife crisis of the building doesn't come in 30 or 40 years. It comes in 10 years. Because the technology is aging so fast that many things, they get obsolete. The systems, the way of working, the backbone MEP services, they lose efficiency. And then there are really old buildings, which were done like 40, 50, 30 years back. They have many a times some serious issues. So first of all, whenever you look at any particular building, you have to look at three things. What is that is must to retain if you are going to reuse that building? Second is what is good to retain? And third is what should go away totally. So these three buckets when we make, and then you also look at these old buildings, they sometimes have a very good old worldly charm to it. Nowadays, all the buildings with this glass cubes and glass facade, they have started looking similar. And we also should appreciate somewhere down the line with this magazine architecture and looking at Aaj Daily and Office Snapshot and all those things, we forgot our roots. So these good old buildings, they have a very good architectural sense to it in terms of passive cooling, in terms of right sizing of windows, in terms of right orientation as per our climate here. Now we have just disregarded the climate because we can. We have all kind of systems. We will put AC, we will do this, we will do that. So we have just forgot about that. And with the exposure, this internet new crop of architects, I'm sorry if I say so, but we are more enamored by whatever is happening in West. So these good old buildings, they come up with their good old, charm. And then there is a cultural aspect also. So when you look at physical part, there are structural things, what you have to kind of retain. Now we have good scanning facilities available. You can actually scan where you have your bars and what are the structural elements which you should not tinker with. Point number one. Then you can, if it is a historical kind of a building, you can do a point cloud kind of a scanning to retain those charming elements of the building. And then there is one more part sometime when it is a client's own campus. We have done some retrofits where client had some emotional attachment to certain things or the users basically. So we wanted to retain some part of it. So when we do something totally new there, they still know, okay, fine, old timers know that this was the thing which was serving us fine all this while. So that so there is a structural part of it, there is a physical and cultural part of it. And as Uday has pointed out, mostly all these buildings, as we had seen in Raheja or many other building, what they have done nice is they have retrofitted the MEP part of it. So that is a must nowadays because you have to all those old systems will keep on giving you pain at some point in time. So when you are at it, you kind of attend to those things that they will serve you for another 10, 15 years. Also, when you are saying how to match with the new buildings, the lesson learned here is whenever we design, like you had pointed out about the parking issue, or we had various things, we don't foresee what is going to come. We just design as per what is there, and with the same kind of a graph, we just try to extrapolate it. But the future sometime goes exponentially. Now, what AI is happening, it is changing the course of everything exponentially. So similarly, sometime there is a inflection point which changes everything. So we need to design when we are at it, design it modularly, design it in a manner that understand that what you are going to build is not going to last. So next time when any other architect comes or you only go there to retrofit it once again, it should not be as painful as this time it is. So build it more wisely, more modularly, so that changes are much more easier. And we should definitely avoid throwing away. So, like when we look at any kind of a retrofit, I always say, don't throw the baby with the bathwater. So always there are certain good elements. And then these retrofits allows you the kind of mistakes which have happened over the course of years, the good windows, the vistas, the views, they are taken over by some cabins, they are taken over by meeting rooms, thereby putting the rest of the 90% of the population in the dark. So now there is a time to revisit all this.
Thanks. Thanks, Yusuf. Valid inputs. So, Yusuf's statement is that, don't make Golconda forts when you make this upcycling. You should, go a modular approach that so that, the designs will stay contemporary in the years to come. So you all heard that, the industry is ready, the transaction team is ready, the facility managers are ready, architect is ready. So what is the next ask? Where dollar is going to come from? So I'm trying to invite Uday's attention here. We all know that unfortunately we live with the most miserly CFOs of the world in the company. So how are you going to convince the CFO for this budget? How are you going to show this is going to give me good ROI, good fetch, good results? So what is your way of that approach?
Yeah, you should actually ask Srikanth about my miserly CFO. So it's very difficult to basically bring out a chart right in front of us and saying that, okay, fine, this is the ROI that I'm going to get out of this particular retrofit. I'm going to save this particular building. Structurally, whether it is sound or not, a structural engineer has to come in and then start telling us about things. Compatibility issues, whether it is costlier than new construction, interior fit outs, how do I do it? How do I rip it off? Coming back to what Yusuf said, how do I reuse available things there? So I did a rough calculation, back of the envelope calculation. I'm talking about a 1 million SFT space. So real estate costs me, when I'm saying real estate, pure real estate, let's say it cost me 250 crores. Okay. Base structure, base building cost me around 750 crores. You can always argue on that because you're more proficient on the. I'm just doing a back of the envelope calculation. So 1,000 crores spent on a 1 million SFT space, and today's going rate is somewhere around 75 per SFT, right? The developer actually makes the money in the first 4 years. Next 16 years or next 26 years is going to make money. On an average, guy is making around 2 crores of money on that particular building. Now, if I don't impress upon that developer to spend money on retrofitting it, I would be the most foolish person. And I am the most foolish person. There's no doubt about it. Because I'm sitting right in front of you. There are many developers in this particular forum right now. And they're all laughing at me. Thank you so much. So technically, it all depends on whether he's a Panchsheel or a My Home or a Prestige or a grade A developer or a grade C developer. If he's a grade C developer, he is never going to invest money. If he's a grade A, he's eventually going to put in money over there. He knows the value of customer relation. He knows how he is going to develop his business over a period of time, how he's going to grow his business, what's his reputation, his brand value. He understands that. A grade C or a grade B developer will never know about it. Over to you, Srikanth. You need to add a couple of points on.
You can, please.
First of all, developers are not making money in 4 years. No, I'll validate that because there's a lot of other components like interest because money is not theirs. So from that perspective, that's fine. So yeah, retrofits is a must. There's no discussion about that. So now I'll just give an example to you. Why even a grade B developer would invest. Yeah, so basically, so there's a building in high-tech city. It's owned by a Mumbai-based investor, 4 lakh square feet space. He's struggling to get a 60 rupees rental, right? When we met with him, when we explained how we can lease the space by retrofitting the building. So we had a very detailed tour workshop. Then end of the workshop, he understood that he can get 80 rupees rental by spending money back into the building, by creating social amenities, by creating some retail spaces, right? By basic retrofits in the lobby areas. So it's absolutely possible. Retrofitting is a must when somebody understands the math behind it, how much money they can make by retrofitting, right? Everybody will do it.
I agree.
So, both Uday and, Srikanth, convince the CFO, he has, enough funds here. Uday was very right, because, see, I'm not talking about any manufacturing companies, but otherwise, something like a workforce-oriented article, offices, after the employee salary, real estate cost, or leasing, or, projects, or utility, that's the second big pie in the chart. So my question is to Gaurav. Gaurav, see, there are a lot of challenges. Say, for example, I even struggled, we did a face-based retrofit. One floor taking out of my existing business was itself a challenge for me. So how are you going to, the facility manager is going to manage this? Say, for example, if you need to vacate a building, you need to go for some incubation space or transition. How are you going to, how efficiently we can manage it without, interrupting any business operations?
Yes. So, first of all, this is a decision between the management and the business functions who are working from those floors and going for the refurbishment for that particular floor. So first of all, the business is as usual running. We can't stop it, and immediately we can't have a complete new setup where there is incubation space available within same campus. Being in same campus can save something for you, like you can save the transport cost of giving additional cabs to those excluded people from the floor who are shifted to a new incubation space. So people try to have the same campus where they can have some incubation space, the nearby area from which they can save the cost on transportation, sometimes on security. But coming to the business decision where they ask for a continuous business, they say that, okay, we can't have a complete work from home for these set of people for the floor which is going to be refurbished. So first of all, the same area or a comfortable space should be given with the agreement of the business head for that particular domain where the people are moving to a new space for the time being. So this is first on the business decision. Second, the timelines, how much you are going to ask for the refurbishment tenure. Like if the business is as usual and running for, additional headcount in coming 2-3 months, and there are more people joining in, you can't give a new hire experience like they are working from incubation space, where rest of the company employee are working from the fully set up office. You should think about this as well. And then the timelines of 3 to 4 months or 6 months based on the space and the changes you are going to make. So based on these assumptions, first business decided, okay, they are ready for the 6 months tenure for shifting their people to some other locations. And at the same time, HR and other functions come together and talk about what new you are going to give, what was not there. So they also come with so much engagement and employee wellness related feedback or inputs. Like we want these spaces as you are going for a refurbishment or upcycling the workplace. What all new things you are bringing in so that we can add this in our projection with the business that, okay, when you are coming back after 3 to 6 months, you are going to get these additional facility. And for that, you are going to sacrifice your current setup of 3 to 500 people or the number what they are deciding. So in that case, if the HR is coming with input, we should accept it as facility managers that yes, these all inputs are validated. What all can be added in existing setup should be done. And then coming to the the setup thing, like what you think about designing a place or refurbishing a place which was not there with the possible space you have, the design, and in addition to your the inputs on automation, what all new IoT sensor based or applications you are bringing in, what BMS you are going to add there with the the existing setup, can it be integrated, what are fire safety you are going to give in addition to that what you had earlier. And after that, if you have some engagement space available or new technology, workplace, workstations, hydraulic, or something which is going to give a factor to these people who are going to compromise for a few months, they are giving you the space to refurbish. And yes, if you are doing it, spending money, definitely you want that particular space of, let's say there are 10 floors and you are going for refurbishment for 2 floors. So the 2 floors should be the example for other 8 floors that, okay, we have done this refurbishment. Now your new talent is accepting the new 2 floors where you are going to set up your office. And then based on these 2 floors set up, what you're going to give in 6 months, the other 8 floors are going to demand the same in coming 1 year. And in that case, you'll again go in phase-wise refurbishment of entire building. So the setting of example for these 2 floors, which are going to be refurbished, should be the ideal, should be the cost effective, plus all automation should be there in place. So this is a complete cycle. What I'm talking about should be considered while we are going for a refurbishment or recycling. But at the same time, we should reuse or recycle items which can be easily accepted in the existing new setup, and how much space or items we are going to utilize, how much minimal impact we are going to give to the existing floors is also a matter of consideration.
Thanks, Gaurav, for giving a comprehensive view. I'm shifting gears. The snacks are already being served. People are thirsty. So let me go back to Srikanth once again. Sri, from an industry perspective, Sri, you told there is, there are a lot of, complications for landlords or developers, to do a demolition. It can be government restrictions or environmental restrictions. So what is that your underlying statement, Sri? So is that going to be the trend that, this is going to be the trend that, upcycling is the almost loan solution, that's the loan path? Or, I asked, sorry, Yusuf. I asked Yusuf also the same question that, so how are, that new entrants, say, for example, I am a new GCC coming to Hyderabad. I wanted, my ABCD companies, whole global standards to be replicated in a new office in Hyderabad. So are they willing to take, or what is that?
So it's not a straightforward answer. So let's say in Hyderabad scenario today, till last week, we had fantastic grade A plus options available. Let's say you could find space in RMZ, you could find space in Satwa, you could find space in Capital Land, in Raheja. All spaces are gone. There's nothing available. Now what? Next 100 GCC coming. Where are they going? Like, he doesn't have any space even to expand a single floor further. So we have to be innovative in terms of choosing. And before even we go there, let's say we have a grade A plus tech park. Not every client is super happy there, first of all. Not every client will actually fit in there. So grade A plus tech park comes with grade A plus kind of amenities, which are generally not affordable to not so grade A plus tenants, right? If somebody is in a program of 50,000, 60,000, 70,000 salaries, they can't go and actually survive in a Satwa knowledge city kind of tech park. They can't. We have placed a tenant there, one of very important tenant of ours, client of ours. They are extremely unhappy being there, right? Given a choice, they'll move out of that. So we have to carefully decide what type of company are we, what type of neighborhood we require. Do we require such kind of tech park? Are we okay to, let's say, go to, or do we require any kind of rental savings? Are we okay to pay? Now, high-tech city is going to be 100 rupees plus market in next 6 months, right? Are we okay with this kind of rentals, or should we go to a Gachibowli or a Kokapet and go to a much better places and take those rental advantage? So all kind of evaluation need to be done in detail. So look at your top 3-4 options and take a decision there. So no more grade A plus spaces is going to be a straightforward answer. No, that's not going to work.
Thanks, Sri. So Sri's, what you call, takeaways that, supply versus demand always plays a major role in the decisions and in the ecosystem matters. Let me try to finish the discussion with Yusuf. Yusuf, in 2015, in my company, we worked with Gensler. That's a world-renowned company, architects. We have offices in 34 countries. So, we also understood the need for, office refurbishment. We wanted to, make it more agile, more collaborative. All those, cabin spaces, silo spaces are gone. So, we shattered that over a period of years. We almost achieved that. But, what we did in 2016, say, for example, that was the latest kind of, innovations or technology in the workplace. Say, for example, the sit and stand workstation, height adjustable workstation. That was a great, enthusiasm there. But after 3 years, we understood that nobody is using that. Hardly 5% of the people are using that. So I mean to say that the dynamics is ever changing. You cannot stop it somewhere. So how are you going to, make, spaces inside offices or the buildings, absolutely in tandem with the changing needs of the workplace or the industry?
So in that case, every building from now onwards, we should look at that thing like a jigsaw puzzle. And it has to be developed like a kit of parts. When you start looking at building as you look at, say, modular furniture, it has various parts and you can form various things out of it. There is a screen, there is a leg, there is a tabletop, there are brackets, there are clamps, this, that. So that's why it is called system furniture. A building should behave like that. So when you are able to do that, you are able to, first of all, look at the structure of the building. there is a structural grid. Design the modules respecting the structural grid, and design the smaller workstations to the neighborhood, to your cabins, to your meeting rooms. They should be multiple of a brick. So when you do that, you know, okay, this is my starting module. With 4x, I can do this. With 10x, I can do that. With 20x, I can do that. And always we try to design the areas which are not used on a daily basis. Like the desk you use on a daily basis, but there are meeting rooms, there are town halls, there are trainings and all that. Make it multi-purpose, make it like an elastic band. You can stretch it, you can contract it. And when you design in a modularity, so like for example, if a cabin is there, I take out the cabin, I put 2 executives. I take out 2 executives, I put 4 workstations. I put 4 cabins, I make one kind of a training room. I put 3 training rooms together, I make a town hall. That modularity, if you bring in, that will, and then try and take advantage of the wireless properties, wireless kind of systems, invest in that. Less number of cables, you are more free. And if you can invest in a raised floor, do that. If you can invest in a demountable partition, do that. Because trust me, that surgery comes more kind of expensive, but know where you have to do it. Don't do it everywhere. You decide that these, if push comes to shove, these are the areas where I will do the surgery. And these are the areas where I will leave it. And for that, understand the building structure as well as the MEP distribution. And we always say we learned it before COVID also. We used to do it with the ODCs. But during the COVID and after COVID, it became very important. Design each neighborhood or each ODC as independent service. If I want to do any kind of a renovation there, or I want to shut down any part, I should be able to do it without impacting the neighboring modules. So your main services are running in the passages and everything goes into that. So I'm able to cut and redo it. And then invest in good quality, like whether you are building UPS, go for modular technology. If you are going for air conditioning, try to make it in a manner that you can kind of attend to it. So all those things, and then look at the future trend. You can't predict the future, but try to be as crazy as possible, thinking what may happen, and have all the scenarios. And then why people are not using it. Ask your, while you are looking at the future, you have to also look at the past. You also have to look at what your users want actually. And don't, we as architects, sometimes we try to kind of behave like we know everything. So you need to, when you enter, I need to forget that I know everything. I need to ask everybody, boss, what do you want? And then we need to come to the core team. This is what our understanding is, and then observe how they are working. We did one for Bank of New York Mellon, we did in Chennai. For 6 weeks, we studied what is their pattern of working. And then that was, CVRE was also part of it. And then we came to know what they actually want. And now, after 3 years, their MD has written that this is a gem in their global portfolio. So if you understand from people what they want, we did 4 or 5 buildings in a campus for Infosys. We did one by one. And while we were doing, we had some learning. We applied in the next building. So you have to always think that you don't know everything.
Thanks, Sudarshan. You are understood that, if you want, some evolving, dynamic, ever contemporary design, whom do you need to approach? Thanks, Sudarshan. Hey, Uday, you want to add something?
Just wanted to call out a couple of things, Babu, the panel members here. The discussion, if I am right, is basically pivoting around to retrofit or not to retrofit, and what's the ROI and what's the cost benefit analysis around it. I give two examples of it, very live examples which I've seen with my own eyes. One is the Eon building in Pune. I don't know how many of you have seen Eon building in Pune. Yeah, okay. 30 years, 40 years down the line, Babu, it still looks the same new building. That's maintenance around it. That's the quality of execution of construction. So where is the need for retrofit? That's number one. Number two, if you go back to one of the iconic structures after Cyber Towers was Vandenberg IIT Park. I don't know how many of you remember. Where is it gone now? I really admire the risk-taking appetite of that particular organization, which actually said, let us demolish this real estate piece and rebuild what we actually require for us to ensure we make money. So these are two prime examples of retrofitting. Retrofit, punch shield level, no retrofit at all. Vandenberg, very bad usage of real estate space, demolish the entire building, redo another. So that's what I'm coming from.
Hey, thanks, Uday. We will wind up this now. Before I conclude, let me give the mic to audience. Any questions, any insights, any inputs? Please go ahead.
Just a question for the panel. Like, Srikanth did mention, or the market's aware that there's sufficient supply or oversupply in the financial district. Do you all feel that there would be any need that there can be an alternate adaptive use for these projects which are status sold, so that that longevity of them will survive? Do you feel that that is something which, as architects, you all recommend, or as landlords are looking at, with so much of space being available, which can be categorized as Grade B, Grade C, can it be converted to an alternate adaptive use? Question one. Second, do you all feel that going forward, you will find a lot of mixed use type of standalone buildings, which will come where the lower floors are more retail in nature, and then on the top floors will be office, and there's a nice separate entry exits and all. Do you think that is something which the future of developments see?
That's your question. No, not
Okay, great. Yeah, mixed use developments are the way forward going forward, right? So any large new tech parks coming up are getting into a mixed use model. Now, let's say latest example, the project what you are building is a mixed use. DLF is planning to build the phase 2 project. It's mall plus office. Raheja, what they're building at Brookfield, right opposite to IKEA, it's a large 6-7 million square feet space. It's small, come office, right? Brigade is building something in Brigade is building something in Neopolis. It's mixed use. So future is all mixed use. Everybody wants amenities to be closer within the same tech park. That is absolutely the way forward. On strata sold buildings, right? The simple solution for strata sold buildings to attract more and more tenants, because they will never find money in the future, right? So Kaplan, as a developer, they used to do one fantastic thing, which is called sinking fund, right? Every month from maintenance charges, they used to put a portion of amount aside. And during 10 years period, when they accumulate things, at the end of 10 year, it's so easy. You don't even go to your CFO to retrospect.
Something like a sinking fund.
Yeah. So that's what will help you to retrofit. That's what will help you to buy a new DG. That's what will help you to change your entire backbone infrastructure. So strata sold buildings, it's important to adopt this model. Now, apart from stratos building, the future is now we have REITs in larger graded buildings. We are also getting into SM REITs now, which are smaller REITs. You can do a REIT for a smaller building today. So when all new buildings in the future are going to become SM REITs, right? Smaller buildings. So for those buildings, it's important for us to get into some kind of maintenance structure, how we have to retrofit in the future after 10 years. That money need to be pulled every month. That's the only way forward.
One of the other things, this is my pet peeve subject, is no FSI in Hyderabad. That's going to impact your retrofitting over a period of time.
Thank you, Uday. Thank you, Sri. Any other questions, any other inputs, dear audience? Please go ahead, dear. Don't go to Mars.
In last 2 years, like I was designing. In last 2 years, I was designing 2 offices. One is 5,000 SFT and the other one is 10,000 SFT. And I failed in both the projects. I couldn't complete. I just started, I took it to the midpoint. Why I failed is like, it is not only about design, because in the existing, the office was what I have to design is in 5th floor. And the other few floors, we have different offices. So if we have to renovate the office, we had to renovate the toilets. To work in the toilets, we have to shut down all the pipelines and we had to work only on holidays. We should not disturb other people. So it is not only about designing, it is like you need to understand how to work with other offices, other spaces, the clients, owners, and my input or my suggestion, because I failed 2 times in 2 major projects. So my suggestion is, it's not only about design, technology and all, it is also understanding the psychology of the other offices, owners, people, pride of your owners and you, and a lot. So this is my input. Thanks a lot.
Thanks. Thank you, dear. Any other inputs, dear? Okay, we are good. Hey, thank you, Hyderabad. You all are eminent personalities from the industry, from the fraternity. Thank you so much for giving us a fascinating audience. Thank you, the eminent panelists, for this engaging discussion. We understood that maybe we cannot tell that it is complete for a demolition or complete for an upcycling. It will be a mix of both. There are classic examples. I am working in Mindspace. In Mindspace, Reheja has demolished, because I think that after the Noida or Gurgaon demolition, that's the second largest explosion happened in building demolition happened in Hyderabad. So I even witnessed that in fraction of a second. The entire 2 buildings have gone down. So and at the same time, Reheja, if my memory is right, in the building number 4. They have absolutely ripped it open everything, they are refurbishing it. So, there can be a mixed approach. And, there are classic examples in the world. You must have heard about the Empire State Building in US. It's one of the, before this Burj Khalifa and the latest buildings coming, we all, maybe in our school or college days, in general knowledge, we studied that Empire State Building is the largest or biggest building. Even that is retrofitted with keeping all those, olden heritage, making it, more efficient building. So, it may be a middle approach. So thank you once again. Fascinating audience, eminent personalities. Thank you, Reshmi and ITP and commercial design team for making this a fantastic and fabulous event. Keep doing it, ma'am. I have seen the frequencies increasing. Thank you so much. So you are the people who make all of us to meet and network together. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Mr. Babu. I'll requesting my panel members to please stay on stage for just 2 minutes. I would love to call on stage Mr. Manoj Kumar from Autic and Mr. Ashish Kumar to please come on stage and present a small token of appreciation from our end. This panel was really amazing. It hit some really crucial realities along with some real practical points about how you phase out workplace disruption while renovation is happening. And also you made some really critical points to the industry. Thank you so much. And Shrikant, obviously coming from the perspective of an IPC where you brought in numbers and the industry stats on plate, which was really this. And Yusuf, as always, as an architect, you also answered difficult questions like how stand up and sitting chairs phased out and how you can even deal with those changes. But thank you so much, Gaurav, all of us. So I'm going to quickly hand over the... Y'all are on dot time. Yes, I don't know. There was no timer running, but it was really amazing. I would first like to start with our moderator of this panel. I had given him certain points, but he, I think, scraped all of it. But the points that he brought on stage was so damn brilliant. We next have Mr. Gaurav Dubey from Citco. Mr. Gaurav Dubey, thank you so much for coming in. He has managed spaces and with facilities. Giving his insights was really amazing. We next have Mr. Uday. He reached your dot on time for the panel. He was, we started at 8 and he reached at 8:01. I'm sure he rushed through the traffic, but thank you so much, Mr. Uday, for coming and joining us here. We next have the architect on the panel, Mr. Yusuf. Yusuf, thank you so much for taking all the questions so brilliantly and giving us your insights on the same. Thank you. And finally, we have Mr. Shrikant Reddy, who joined us. Thank you, Shrikant. He brought some real practical points to the panel discussion. And with this, I would request my speakers to please come on stage for an photo session, for an final photo op. And with this, ladies and gentlemen, we wrap up this evening. I couldn't have asked for an more beautiful concluding session for this evening, which they made so interesting and engaging. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. Just a few this before closing in for the night. I would love to call y'all to invite y'all and nominate for the Commercial Design Awards. Thank you so much, gentlemen. Thank you, Shri. Thank you. We have some really, I don't know, for me personally, the awards is something more than just in commercial space or office project award. We have categories like cost-effective designs. We have categories like unsung heroes, which is specifically for facility managers and the younger generations that are working behind the scenes in office spaces. We also have projects like, categories like unbuilt projects that a lot of times don't see the light of the day. But I know a lot of heart and soul goes into designing, designs for many clients, but gets scraped. So I would request you all to please go on Commercial Design's website. You all will get all the categories that are there. And given the people here are at the core of this industry, I would love to see nominations coming in from Hyderabad for this particular. This is our third edition, and unfortunately, Hyderabad se bahut hi kam aaya hai hame nominations every year. So this year, that's why I just thought I'll take a chance and invite you all to please send in your nominations for this. And with this, I am gonna end this beautiful evening, and hope you all enjoy your Friday night with us. The bar's open, the dinner is also there, and have a beautiful weekend too. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen.
Humans are social beings. We create buildings and cities, places where individuals come together and build communities. These are places to connect, stay, and love. Places to care for the generations that came before us, while welcoming the next. Places to let our children grow, learn, to experience amazing moments, to step into new adventures. We are home where our communities come together, places across town or across the world, places that matter most to all of us. We provide safety, security,